Okay, check this out. It's that time of year again, and you go in your supervisor's office. It's that time for the longly anticipated yearly review. And what do? You just go in, he or she tells you to come in the office. He prints out your yearly performance, your yearly review. He or she goes over with you step by step. It's more of a monologue than a dialogue than a conversation. And at the end of it, they tell you this is what your pay increase is, 2 or 3%. Because unknowingly and because of some not naivety or not naivete, you just sign the dotted line. You accept it without any conversation, without any source of data or information to counter that, to negotiate. And then you just wait until the next year to do it again, just automatically accepting. What if I told you there's a better, more successful, efficient way to do that, where it's not just a monologue, it's not just a one-way conversation, it is a dialogue, it is a conversation, and there's preparation days, weeks, even months in advance. Well, today I'm going to tell you, by the end of this video, you're going to know how to better position yourself for a better pay increase, 3 to 5%, by having hard data, concrete evidence supporting your contributions, supporting your yearly summary. So I'm Andrew Scott, part of Favor and the Famine, and my job is I'm called to serve you because this is something that I was not taught in school, whether that's grade school or higher education, getting my bachelor's degree from the great Jackson State University, the I love. And it was not even, I didn't even learn it in the corporate workplace. I learned later on through experience. And I'm gonna give a shout out to my wife. Love you, babe. I'm gonna give a shout out to my wife. She told me through her experience because she worked in HR at that time, and she was able to get some information and some wisdom and pass those nuggets on to me. And she said, "Babe, are you getting so your yearly performance is coming up? Your yearly review is coming up. Are you prepared?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm prepared to listen." And she was like, "No, you need to be preparing now, 6 months in advance, 3 months in advance. Do you have your blue?" She calls it a blue book. What is a blue book? I heard of a Kelly blue book in the cars for cars, like how their performance is. But it hit me, it dawned on me. We're looked at as assets in our organizations. We're looked at as assets in our business. Why aren't we carrying that out accordingly? So in a blue book, basically what it is, it tracks everything, the key metrics, the performance, any shortcomings of that car, any hiccups or accidents, but mainly it's the performance and the value. Keyword, listen here, the value of that car, of that asset, or of that item. So translate it into the business world or into corporate world. You need your blue book. You need your performance summary, your self-evaluation months in advance. So like I said, in this video, I'm going to walk with you step by step of what I've learned, how to better put me in position that's going to help you put you in position to have concrete evidence or data, facts, tracking your yearly performance that justifies and validates your value and validates you getting a higher increase. They don't teach us this about negotiation and data analytics and circumventing certain things and exporting data and composing emails and putting them in a separate email folder to have for data for to present it in our yearly performance and to add it onto our resume. So like I said, Sit back, take your notes, get a pen and paper. We're going in and I'm gonna teach you the effective way to do this. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So phase one, excuse me. Let's go ahead and get started. So how to prepare for your performance review and actually get the raise that you deserve. This is a step-by-step countdown so you walk in confidently and walk out rewarded. Because a lot of times, I mean, what companies do is what they don't do is like everybody is trying to get the dollar. Everybody is trying to get the most out of their performance, out of their contributions, especially the higher that they go. I ain't saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad, but what I'm saying is you have to look out for yourself and you have to look out for your family. So with that being said, yes, you can be the rest of the time outside of your performance review. That's why it is an individual performance review. That is why it is an employee evaluation. It is not a team evaluation. This is not a team performance review. This is an individual performance review. And this is a time to be focused on yourself. It is okay, and I am a very team oriented, think of others type of person. I try to be the point guard. I try to dish things out. I try to set other people up for success. But there's a time and a season for everything. Like the good book says, there's a time and a season. And this is a time and this is a season for you to evaluate yourself, doing a self evaluation, to have it prepped, to be prepared to present to your supervisor. So this is Favor and Famine, AndrewScott.com. So first thing, the number one performance review mistake is most people, like I have plenty of times before, walk in unprepared, which eventually end up walking out disappointed, unknowingly, they don't even know that they left money on the table, that they did not present themselves in the most valuable way. Like they did not exemplify, or they did not display, they did not communicate their value, their worth. If you weren't valuable, if you weren't considered an asset for the company, you wouldn't be there. They know it. Your employees know it. Your supervisor knows it. But do you know it? Do you truly know it? And do you truly voice it in a professional, respectful, and yet still humble way when it's necessary? So the good news is preparation is a skill, and this presentation gives you the exact playbook. So your raise starts 30 days before the meeting. Now, to make it even more seamless, to make it even more efficient and more conducive, I would advise to do it throughout the year. So you're not waiting until the last 30 days to try to scramble, because you can easily forget. Like I've done it before, where if you don't, in the beginning, initially, if you don't make a separate, I like to make a separate email folder. You can print everything out and you can make a physical, tangible folder, but which is good. But I like to make a digital folder, a separate email, and I label it Blue Book and whatever year it is, fiscal year 2026. Because a lot of companies, their fiscal year is some companies, their fiscal year is like coincides or mirrors the calendar year from January to December. But then a lot of companies, their fiscal year is from July until June. So what I like to do is, when the new fiscal year starts, I like to go ahead and go ahead and clean that bad boy out. I like to create the new fiscal year blue book, and any emails, any documentation, any Slack messages, or any voicemails, I make note of those and I document them in that folder. Because a lot of times with voicemails, they get sent to your email. They actually get sent to your email. You can save it with the time and who the client or the customer is. And you can say, okay, make note of this. I took action. I did X, Y, and Z. So with your 30-day countdown, 30 days out, it's imperative, it's important. Track your wins. So track your wins. Like I said, I like to do it even in advance, 60, 90 days sometimes, and a lot of times 6 months as I go. I like to put them in that, copy them to that blue book folder. And then 30 days out, I go back and I do a recap just to ensure that I have everything that I needed, that especially something that's so that contributes so much, something that's so outstanding or so extraordinary or so valuable, something that very presentable for my case as far as a counter, a respectful counter or negotiation tactic, or as far as voicing my reasons or justifications for my high job performance. So and then 7 days out, review and self-assess. So what I like to do is I like to compose a self-evaluation, and I like to compose it in a almost like a 2 or 3 page Word document, like a letter, like dear so and so. This year I have, this is the time for the performance review. I would like to state my contributions and have like certain bullet points under there, and then have paragraph forms of what you've done where it's easily obtainable, easily visible. Have that massage where it's actually coherent and where it's actually easy to navigate in that document, and just talk through it where it things cannot easily be missed. And then 48 hours out ahead of time, prep your talking points. So that's where the bullet points come in. And you have your talking points and you make notes for your own copy. So you make 2 copies. If it's you and your supervisor, you make 2 copies, sometimes even 3. If you even like to have an extra one just to take notes, make those copies to present to your supervisor as you give your self evaluation, or if you even want to email ahead of time, so they know that they're prepared and they actually have an advancement and have an advance notice of what you have, so they can take into consideration on the performance review or performance summary that they have for you, so you can read each other's and meet in the middle. So the day of, that's how you can walk in with confidence. Each phase builds on the last. If you miss one, then you, like I said earlier, you leave money on the table. You don't want to leave money on the table. So let's deep dive into phase one. 30 days out, track your wins. So as I stated earlier, document accomplishments with real, transparent numbers. For example, percentage improvements. This is a big one. Revenue influence, revenue impacted, positive revenue, projects shipped. And for example, you have something where it says in January of 2026, like it says on the side, numbers win arguments. I increased fill rate by 12% beats. I worked really hard. I worked really hard is very general. It's very, it's too vague. You need specifics. You need pinpoint at like documentation. You need actual facts. You need data. Data wins. Just like I even said this earlier, like the great poet Sean Carter said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Facts are facts. Data's data. Everything else can be subjective. Numbers and data, 9.5 times out of 10. It's 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. If you have the numbers, if you have the data, you can't argue with that. So, secondly, keep a running wins log. Even a simple notes doc works. For example, if you're in customer service and you are very interactive with the customers, and you are a liaison between let's say the between the operations and the customer, and you're able to be that bridge, and you're able to connect the gap between, let's say, a shipment was missed and the customer reaches out, then if you can say, or you can show through your email, or even if you talk to the customer and you recap via email, or if you just write it down after the phone conversation, hey, I helped Jane. She reached out about not receiving her order, her shipment on time. I connected with the logistics team and followed through and followed up and followed through. Like, remember my last video, followed up and followed through, and realized that the shipment was in the wrong area, or the shipment was left behind, or it had an incorrect label on it. I was able to put it in the right hands, give it to the right dispatcher to get it out to her same day. That is a huge contribution, where that if there was a problem, you address the problem. Not only did you address the problem, you helped solve the problem. You helped fix the problem. Big win, big win. And thirdly, connect your work back to team or company goals. So let's say that the senior team or the staff says, okay, during this quarter, we want to focus on minimizing lost sales. How do we do that? We make sure that we have the right inventory. So let's say that you step in and you help the inventory team. You track not only foreseeable items that could lead to lost sales, but you actually implement, or you compose a report that help order, or you connected with the purchasing side and you help them purchase the right items or the right quantity of items. Or you notice that an old product code was still implemented and you actually help update the product code. That is another big win. That is so transparent, that is so valuable, that is indisputable. You want to have concrete, indisputable, coherent evidence. You want to have data. You want to have concrete data. And the company goes. So if that was the need that you helped address, if that was the problem that you helped solve, that was, especially that was communicated by the upper management, jot that down, log that, put that in your performance summary. And like I said earlier, number 4, collect praise, save emails, Slack messages, shout outs. So let's say a customer or client gives a kudos to you for being very responsive. And that's another key thing. You want to be very responsive. And not only do you want to be very responsive, you want to be you want to close the loop. You want to follow up and you want to follow through. You want to make sure, even after you deep dive and you do a root cause analysis, or you deep dive into what the issue was, and you reach out with the customer and you reach out to the logistics team or the operations team to see what the breakdown was. And let's say the shipment was missed and the logistics team, the operation didn't get it out in time. They get it out after you address it. They get it to the shipping team, the logistics team, and they say they're going to get it out by 3 o'clock. And it's 3:30. You follow up with the parties involved with the logistics team, and you follow with the customer and say, hey, John, I just wanted to reach out. I just want to follow up. I just wanted to ensure our goal was to get this shipped to you today by 3 o'clock. It's 3:30. I just wanted to verify or confirm that you received it. They say yes. That goes a long way than just saying, okay, we're going to get it out there to you today. And you don't follow through. You don't follow up to make sure, because anything can happen. And it shows that you're being not only proactive in the beginning, but you're following up to ensure that that loop was closed. Any emails where they give you kudos, or it shows where uh, you close that loop, or that job was done, you initiated that that being resolved, document that, and that's something else that you want to log. So phase 2, 7 days out, review and self-assess. Pull last year's review, reread your last evaluation. What goals were set? What goals were addressed, or what goals were inquired about, or what goals were in mind that your supervisor wanted you to achieve, that your supervisor wanted you to reach? Did you hit them? Were you close? Uh, how many of them did you check off? This is your manager's scorecard. Also, review your job description. I know a lot of times in companies and corporations, there's your job description, and then there's that when you first get there and in your orientation or in your interview in your orientation, but once you get there, there's this little gray area where, okay, things could possibly fall into your lap. And so, hey, which is okay, but just have that clear communication. But this is where you compare it to what you actually do. If you've grown beyond it, if you have gone above and beyond, if you've grown beyond it, that's your raise argument that you've grown enough, you're prepared, and you've actually shown and proven that you are above your current job description. Thirdly, do a gaps analysis. Rate yourself honestly. Now, remember, it's about honesty and integrity, the core thing. Rate yourself honestly with integrity on each competency, which each skill, whatever skills that you're being graded on, whatever skills that you're being looked at or you're being judged by, be fair for your self evaluation. It's okay. We're all human. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. Nobody's perfect, but you want to grade honestly. You don't want to, if you know and others know that you're not the best at public speaking, but you say that you grade yourself at being above and beyond with public speaking, but you know that's something you need to work on, then you lose credibility. You do not want to lose credibility. Also, prepare a story for any areas you want to address proactively. Have stories in place. Have real life examples. Have experiences that you can address. Hey, on this date, when I was with the purchasing team, or when I was with the when I was with the customer service group, we came together to see how we can make things more efficient, how we can communicate better. And the way that we did that, how can we communicate better? We have the action plan was, okay, we reach out within um 2 hours after the email or after a phone call. Make sure you reach out and you follow up by close of business that day, or the communication. We do surveys. You do surveys quarterly. You do it bi-quarterly. You do it yearly. You do it weekly. However, whatever the goals were and whatever that the things that you helped implement, that you helped to make it a more efficient, effective atmosphere or job workplace, document that and address that with real examples. Here's another pro tip. Email your manager ahead of time and ask what topics they'd like to cover. It signals initiative. Nothing impresses, I'm not going to say nothing, what really impresses supervisors, what really impresses leadership is when they see their employee, their direct report, taking initiative. They're not waiting to be. They don't have to handhold. They don't have to hold their hand and to nudge them. It's like, hey, go ahead and do this. Do you see this? Like, go ahead and do that. Like, no, they like it when they see you take the proper initiative. So phase three, 48 hours out, prep your talking points. So first, script your top three wins, one sentence each, quantify, practice out loud. If you want to practice in the mirror, you want to practice in front of your phone, if you want to record yourself, do that so you can see. Because a lot of times we think that, okay, whenever we're speaking, whenever we're talking, we look a certain way and we actually look different. So for example, if I think and that's why it's taken me so many repetitions and so many attempts or so many just getting my reps up as far as public speaking, which I really enjoy, whether it's in front of a camera or with people. Um, where I would feel like that I would get nervous. And I thought that I presented myself nervously. But actually, the people that I presented to were like, no, you look very calm. And that's something about me where I feel like a lot of times with us, everything is internal. Sometimes we think too much. We're in our head too much. But actually, Outwardly, we let it flow. So you want to record yourself. You want to practice to see how you are, how you present yourself. And secondly, prepare your ask. Know the number or title you want, and have this is the golden thing. Have data, have numbers, have facts to back it. Like I said earlier, a great poet said, John Carter, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And the next thing, write your three goals for next year. It shows forward thinking. It shows that you are committed long term. It shows that you are taking that initiative, that you are committed, that you are in it for the long haul. It takes control of the narrative. It's not just about me in the moment at that moment, but it's okay. I'm invested in this company. Invest in me. If you want the most out of me long term, this is how you can reward me to stay committed, to stay engaged, to stay interactive. And anticipate the hard questions. Hey, there's going to be hard questions. That's life. Any gaps, missed targets, team friction, have a brief, honest answer ready. And that's okay. That's normal. It's not going to be peaches and cream and flowers and butterflies every day. That's life, whether that's in business and family or at your job or at church or anywhere. Like, that's life. It's conflict resolution. That's why we're here as leaders, as problem solvers. We're here to push through that adversity, not run from it, and not be hesitant about it, or not be reluctant to address them or to face them. And practice your timing. You want this to feel like remember what I said earlier. You want this to feel like a conversation where it's both you and your supervisor engaging and talking, and not a monologue. 2 minutes per point max. Remember, like I said, a lot of times with supervisors, what they don't tell you, what they don't want you to know is they want to make it seem like it is one sided, like it's a monologue. Not only is it important for you to show and to back yourself up, but it shows that you actually care, that you have that initiative. It shows that you are invested in the team, in the company, in the business. That conversation where shows that you're able to stretch your stuff. I don't know a better word for that, but you're able. You, I really don't know a better word. Forgive me for that. You're able to display your strengths, and you're able to see what you want to work on. You're able to show that you are all in. You're all in. You deep dive and you all in. Phase four, day of. Now that you're prepared, now that you have everything that you need, walk in with confidence. Take your deep breaths, meditate, stay calm, and remember, sleep well. Sleep well, eat, and hydrate. I'm telling you, especially the older that we get, the older that I get, I need a good night's rest. I'm not able to function to my best ability. I try to get as much sleep and rest as I can. I know and that comes with prioritizing. Sleep well so you're well rested, so you're sharp, so you are engaged, so you are not sluggish. And eat, not only eat well, eat healthy. Eat a good breakfast. Just eat healthy. Eating your dieting, exercising as well. But the main things, these three things, I'm not even gonna get even too far off on it. These three things make such a huge difference as far as your performance, as far as your productivity. Sleeping well, eating good and healthy, and hydrating. Eat some in the mornings, eat some oatmeal, even an instant oatmeal. Get you some walnuts and almonds. Walnuts are great for your neurological system, for your brain. It keeps you sharp. They have like the omega 3s and even like vitamins and supplements. I take a multivitamin and fish oil and, take vitamin C. I'm not a doctor, but I do study. I like to research. There's certain things like magnesium supplements. Magnesium is so good as far as not only your muscle and your joints, it's good for keeping you sharp, and it's making You know what I'm saying? Like it's vitamin D3. That keeps you sharp. That puts you in a better mood. And that's how you can keep be in the sunlight. You get that natural vitamin D from the sunlight. I can go on and on with that. So hydrate, drink plenty of water. You see me with my big jug of water. I have a filter. We have a good filter in our fridge. We have the reusable BPA free water bottles. You can easily get the ones where you can put them in the dishwasher. You can put them in, boom, right back out. You refill it. And it's way cheaper. It's way more cost efficient than bottled water. So, and then listen first. Let your manager set the tone because he is your superior. You let him set the tone because he is initiating the performance review. Thirdly, take notes. It shows that you're serious. It shows that you're engaged. It shows that you are locked in. You're focused. Take notes. Fourth, ask questions. What would you like to see more of? You don't have to argue, say, well, at this time, you don't have to say, well, I did this and I did that. Well, if you know what this coulda, woulda, shoulda, it's like, okay, what would you like to see more of? Put it in their hands where, okay, you're acknowledging what they're saying, but you let them tell you because this is their part of the job. Like this is their part of this performance review. They're there to guide you and coach you and direct you to how to put you in a position to succeed. And the fifth thing, this is so very important. Do not accept or reject feedback on the spot. Calmly, patiently say, I appreciate that. Let me reflect. You do not want to make any haste decisions. You do not want to react. You want to and this is something that a wise thing I heard from, it was actually Carrie Champion on another podcast with Kevin on Stage. Not My Best Moment podcast. She said she had to learn to not to react, which can be in a non productive way. Reacting, don't react, but respond. Respond and say, let me reflect. Last, end by affirming your commitment, like I said earlier, and excitement for the year ahead. So that shows that you are acknowledging what they said and what you see and what they've displayed and what they communicated, and that you're going to implement those things and you're going to reach those, you're going to try to reach those goals in the upcoming year. So, how to ask for what you deserve. So, for example, this is a sample script. So, based on the results I've shared today, after you going through your self evaluation or over your self performance review, based on the results I've shared today, particularly X or name your specific win. I believe I should, my contributions warrant a salary adjustment to your target range. And add as well, I'm committed to continuing to deliver at this level, and I'd like to discuss what that path looks like. So it's not saying, well, I just want more money just because I want more money. And do not say that you need it because of personal reasons like, the cost of living is high, or because daycare is so high, or because you just moved into a new house. No. Unfortunately, supervisors and managers, the bad ones, they use that against you as leverage. They use everything as leverage. So don't show your cards, don't show your hand. Just say, keep it factual, keep it objective, don't make it personal or subjective. Based on the results I've shared today, particularly X specifically in, this should warrant these contributions warrant a salary adjustments to this. And I'm committed. So side notes, know your target number for the room before you enter the room. So what you want to do is you want to gather all the information. You want to compare on things like salary.com, Glassdoor, Indeed, LinkedIn. You want to compare what the median salary is based on how many years, not only the median salary, and compare it to how many years you've been in that role and that position, in your area, in the city, in the area location that you're working in. You want to compare, okay, is this comparable to what I'm receiving now? Or should it be more? Or if you are already getting that, then okay, that justifies what you're getting. And then also anchor to market data if possible. So that's what I mentioned. Also connect to ask directly to a demonstrated value. So this is a demonstrated value, and this is okay. The value is my position or my title formally is an IT specialist or an IT analyst, but I'm also not only am I an IT analyst, but I'm also a customer service representative or a customer service anchor or manager. I'm also doing things that a inventory specialist would do, or I'm doing something that a supervisor would do. Like I'm contributing, or I am adopting these. I have adopted these roles, and my salary should reflect that. If you would like to continue, if you would like for me to continue adding this amount of value. Like I said earlier, do not leave a personal need. I need more money, or I got more kids, or the daycare is too high, which it is ridiculous nowadays. Don't communicate that personal stuff to them. They use that against you. Accept the first and do not accept the first answer without a follow up. So the favor and the famine principle. Your income is your number one financial asset. And in the 5 financial seasons framework, your performance review is a harvest moment. You reap what you sown all year. Protecting and growing your income is an act of stewardship, not selfishness. So, like I said earlier, there's a time in the season for everything. So this is a time where they're doing an individual performance review. This is your time to shine. This is your time to put your stats up, to show your stats, to show the shots you put up. I'm saying figuratively because my mind goes to sports. It shows how you contributed to the wins. This is your time. It's not being selfish. And even when and even when they might frame it as well, but this person to get this and this person to get that. Hey, that's not my business. That's between that employee and yourself. Like everybody has a job to do, and your job is to make sure not only do you contribute and you do your work unto the Lord and not unto man, but you have a spirit of excellence, but you're able to communicate, you're able to speak up, you're able to say, okay, this is my value, this is what I deserve, or this salary adjustment reflects my value and what I contribute. There's nothing wrong with that. And you can actually say, I hope the other employees that are having their performance review are voicing for themselves as well, because they deserve to get what they feel like they deserve based on their value, based on what they communicate, what they contribute. So, like I said, time of the season for everything. So, planting season, daily work all year. That's the planting season. Harvest season is a review. You reap your rewards. You should see the fruits of your labor. And I'll just be real with you. If a company does not see your value, or if they do not acknowledge your value, it might be time to reconsider some things. I'm gonna just leave it at that for right now. So, and in your winter season, your missed prep equals your missed income. If you're not prepared, the saying is, people don't plan to fail, people fail to plan. You gotta have a plan, you gotta be prepared. That is so important. So now you know all that. Now you're ready. We're ready. Now go get what you've earned. Go out and get it. Go out and get what you deserve, what you've earned. Not only what you deserve, what you've earned, what you work for, what you strive for. And like I said, if people can't see that, if your employers can't see that, if your supervisor can't see that, which they do, but if they can't admit that, if it feels like you're being taken for granted and it seems like they're just stringing you along, and it feels like there's a glass ceiling no matter how high that you try to climb, or you're like that on the hamster wheel, no matter how hard you work, no matter how fast you go, They just dwindle that little carrot, that little thing, in front of you, more, 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 but you never get it. You're gonna need to do is have some prayer and reconsider some things. So remember these 4 points: 30 days out, build your wins file, your blue book. 7 days out, review and self-assess. 48 hours out, prep and practice. And a day of, listen, engage, and ask. Don't go in there talking and don't go spewing at the mouth first. You Calmness and composure, they speak volumes even more than words sometimes. Sometimes silence can speak louder than words because people, they see that you're composed, they see that you're gathered, they see that you have your stuff together, and they're like, oh man, what are they thinking? Like, what are they about to say? They're anticipating what you're about to do, what you're about to say. There's power in that. There's power. You can learn so much more from listening, and a lot of times you can be so much more effective in listening first, and then engage and ask. Ask questions. So remember, if you want a coach in your corner, contact me. Go to my website, andrewscott.com, or and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If this helped you, if this is value to you, like this video, share it, and subscribe to my YouTube page. Contact me. I have a contact page or a contact section, andrewscott.com, for one-on-one coaching or a group cohort. I have a group cohort going on that's launching soon. If you would like to be part of that, or you would like to have individual coaching and break it down step by step, feel free to contact me. I'll be glad to help you out. Or email me at andrewscott.businesses@gmail.com. Contact me. I'll be glad to work with you and be glad to help you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, favor and famine, go get what you earn. Be blessed.